along with Gary Danielson, we've learned over the past decade that this rivalry has evolved into one of the most bitterly contested in all of college football. What makes a great rivalry in your mind?
You know, Vern, I've thought about this, and where I go back first is you can't fool the American public. They know when they're watching a game that this game means a lot, and the players in the game are at the highest level. This has really epitomized that two things. And I think this game sets itself apart in one way, though. Some of these rivalries are bitter. I think the word that best describes this rivalry is respect. Both teams know the other guy's pretty good.
Well, you know all about Stars over Alabama. We can't see them tonight because of the overcast and the rain. But two of the great stars on the field tonight will be these two wonderful running backs.
Well, college football is blessed with a lot of great running backs, but on the field tonight, we're going to have two of the best in all of college football, and both teams know that their running back has to be the key to their offense. When these guys have the football in their hands, not only are they powerful, emotional, and leading their football team, but any carry could take it right to the house and change that scoreboard. But you know, when you watch this game, you can just really pick out any position. And there are stars all over the field, and this game has stars on the sideline too, because we have two of the coaches in college football that are must watch. This game really has it all, and tonight it's practically for everything in college football.
Well, we have done this telecast now, 9 consecutive regular season games between these two. One thing we've learned, it usually comes down to a fourth quarter finish. What's significant there?
Well, it really does. So many great football players that it's usually going to come down to people making clutch plays in the fourth quarter. And when you really look at it more closely, it's been the quarterbacks that make the clutch plays in the fourth quarter. Now tonight, we've got two guys that started off the year maybe as being managed, but Brandon Harris has come on for LSU. They think he's ready. But on the other side, Jake Coker has dreamed about playing for Alabama and leading his team to a championship. You know, those two guys are going to find their way into the fourth quarter and decide the game.
Settle in. It might be noisy. It might be really exciting. The Home Depot SEC on CBS is sponsored Wheels Up. The Home Depot and by Chick-fil-A.
Down between LSU and Alabama. It's a special Saturday night. Razorbacks, Tigers, Gators, Condors, Gamecocks, and Battle Cry. War Eagle, Roll Tide, Bulldogs, Aggies, Rebels, and College Station. Yeah, we're one big country nation, that's right. It's the Tigers and the Tide, under the lights, the SEC on CBS, the best game from the best conference.
Bryant-Denny Stadium, Tuscaloosa. First on the field, the Crimson Tide of Alabama. One loss this year, that occurred here against Ole Miss. Can't hold Les Miles back, can you? I guess you could try. Let's go down to Allie LaForce with Nick Saban.
Coach, your defense is limiting opponents to just under 80 alone. How do you stop him?
Well, you know, I think everybody's got to do their job. Everybody's got to play their gap. We got to leverage the ball very well, and we got to have more than one guy trying to tackle them all the time.
LSU and Alabama have been decided in the fourth quarter. What takes this game down to the wire each year?
Well, you know, I think it's two really good teams. Both teams compete well in the game, and they keep playing for 60 minutes. So that's what makes great football teams and great games.
Coach, good luck.
Thank you.
Allie, thank you.
Nick Saban said after he looked back at the Ole Miss game, he felt his team was too emotional to start the game. That's why it led to turnovers. I think he's told his guys.
LSU has lost the last 4 in this rivalry. And Allie LaForge, she's with Les Miles.
Coach, LSU has lost 4 straight to Alabama. Why will this be the team that ends the losing streak?
All those opportunities are faded memories. It's all about tonight and the opportunity for our team to come in and play like we're capable.
You have the best running back in the nation, but no one stops the run better than Alabama in this conference. How do you impose your will on them tonight?
That will be a great matchup. It'll be a fight in the trenches, I promise.
Coach, thanks. Good luck.
Thank you very much. See you now.
I say no. I think those 4 games have hurt the pride of LSU, and they are focused as they've ever been for this game. I think they want to show that they can win finally this football game against Alabama.
It has rained for the last 24 hours. We have a 70% chance of rain. Early this morning at the hotel, we all arose and thought, well, it's going to blow. It's not raining right now. Well, the intensity of this rivalry has tripled in the last 10 years. They first met back in 1895. Meetings have gone into overtime, and it was that afforded both of these teams with an opportunity to control their own destiny.
There is not one player on this field tonight that played in that 2011 game. There's some that dressed, 3 or 4 on each team, but not one player played in that game of the century in 2011.
That was the last game LSU won. That was the game of the century for that year. Number 1 versus number 2, and LSU prevailed.
That was pretty good, Vern. I like that.
9-6. Well, this one's not because it's only 2
calm
versus
it down.
4.
Come on, calm it down.
LSU won the tournament. That means Cameron Gamble, number 39 this year. Kenyon Drake is deep. Richard Mullaney, short kick, it's Drake. He is spilled as he gets out between the 25 and the 30-yard line. Jacob Coker, the state. He's a mobile native. He transferred here and says he is living the dream.
And I like the highlight we showed. It's been his toughness and running ability that has really turned on this team, and I think won over his teammates.
He did not start the Ole Miss game, which was an Alabama loss, over 5 times. Coker wings it left. Richard Mullaney, the slot receiver. Well, let's introduce you to the Chick-fil-A starting lineups. That means cue the cow. Cam Robinson, All-American as a freshman of the freshman All-American team. Not having a great season, so says his offensive coordinator, Lane Kiffin. Here's Derrick Henry, first carry of the night. LSU defensively. Neil Gottschall, LaCouture, a freshman key. And Jalen Mills, veteran defensive back, sustained earlier. Henry. First down, Alabama.
Vern, we started off talking about the 2 running backs, but to give you an idea in this series how close these teams are. LSU in the 10 meeting. This is the 10th meeting between the 2 coaches. Yards. Bama 1,147. A difference of just 13 rushing yards in the last 9 meetings.
Pretty close.
Pretty close.
Cam Robinson, All-American as a freshman of the freshman All-American team. Not having a great season, so says his offensive coordinator, Lane Kiffin. Here's Derrick Henry, first carry of the night. LSU defensively. Neal, Gotcha, LaCouture, a freshman Key, and Jalen Mills, veteran defensive back. Starting his first game, he had a broken fibula sustained earlier. Henry. First down, Alabama.
Vern, we started off talking about the two running backs, but to give you an idea in this series how close these teams are, LSU in the 10 meeting, this is the 10th meeting between the two coaches, 1,160 rushing yards. Bama, 1,147, a difference of just 13 rushing yards in the last 9 meetings.
Pretty close.
Pretty close.
First down 10. Calvin Ridley, top of the screen, up, bump and run. Short, Mulaney. Down the sidelines. Jalen Mills was the first man there, but it's another Alabama first down.
Lane Kiffin has taken a tactic that I have seen many times by Alabama teams. They use it in the national championship against LSU, is opening up, spreading the field with the passing game.
A quick snap. Derrick Henry gets the handoff. Lewis Neal is the defender, number 92. And again, hurry up offense. Coker alongside is Henry. LSU with 4 down. Corner blitz. Up the middle. Tackle is made at the 35 by Kendall Beckwith. That's good on Derrick Henry.
Well, the goal in this football game by both coaches, when you talk to the defensive coordinator Kevin Steele, talk to the two head coaches, you talk to Lane Kiffin, they all say we want to get it to 3rd and medium, under less than 3rd and 7.
Well,
that's where they are.
Goal accomplished.
Now let's see if they can make it count.
Kenyon Drake behind Coker, gets the handoff, comes right, cuts up. No, did not get the first down. Tackle again, Kendall Beckwith with Jamal Adams, number 33.
There's their two best football players, I believe, on LSU side, Beckwith and Adams.
4th and 1.
We're going to start this already?
Well, it would have been a 48-yard field goal attempt, and Adam Griffith is not having a great year.
Let's see if Coker doesn't try to run.
Ryan Kelly over the ball.
That didn't look right, Bo.
No. And he did not get it. Jamal Adams.
Yeah, they did not snap the ball at the right time. Calvin Ridley actually passed the quarterback, so he did not have the fake of the jet sweep. Watch Ridley, it almost hits him. They were out of sorts, and you cannot make mental mistakes against these great athletes. Jamal Adams knows it's not going to go to Ridley, and he eats it up.
So the ball goes over on downs. Well, you see Les Miles' reaction. How about the contrasting emotion from Nick Saban? Time called. Brandon Harris on the field. Let's take another look at that 4th and 1.
Well, out of field goal range, I figured Alabama would go for this, but the snap, the timing was not right, and basically on the play, I thought Cam Robinson was in motion on the play, but you know, Vern, part of my theme of the game is, in the biggest games, it's the littlest things, and we just saw it right there. The timing on the snap produced a negative play for Alabama.
So Brandon Harris is on, and by Keithan Mouton is the fullback. Leonard Fournette gets the toss, comes left. Not much. Geno Matias Smith drew a bead on him. Brandon Harris, the quarterback.
Well, he has really improved his game. Some people thought, I included basically, thought he went into a little bit of shock with that first start last year against Auburn as a true freshman. But you know what? The coach is talking to Cam Cameron and Les Miles. They said, no, it wasn't shock. He was enlightened. He figured out that he had to get better to play in this league, and it really, in the long run, helped him.
Second down, 8. Play fake. Harris rolls out, pulls up, drills it. Incomplete. Traven Durrell was the intended receiver.
He lost his shoe on that play. That's why he didn't throw it well.
Chick-fil-A starting lineups. Hawkins, Tahuma, Posick, Clapp, Vidal Alexander. See the backfield. Third down, 8.
He was like one of the Chick-fil-A cows throwing a shoe on that one. Do they do that? The cows have shoes?
No, those are the horses.
City boy.
Yeah. That's that Detroit background for you. Harris. Fourth down. Tim Williams. Pass rushing specialist for Alabama.
Well, it was an unbalanced line, but Tim Williams just got outside the displaced tackle. Instead of Gerald Hawkins lining up left, he went over to the right side, and he did not handle the change very well. On that play, Williams just beat him.
Cyrus Jones is deep in anticipation of returning the punt by Jamie Keane. Second in a line of Australian punters. Jones at the 15. And 3 and out for LSU. That's a 56-yard punt. 11th on the return. Crimson Tide has it for the second time. Tomorrow, league game early. Oakland at Pittsburgh. And the game late, Denver. Undefeated Broncos go in to take on the Colts. It all begins with the NFL Today with JB and the crew. The NFL Today presented by Southwest Airlines. Second series now for the Alabama Crimson Tide. Jacob Coker chatting with the offensive coordinator, Mr. Lane Kiffin.
I talked to Kevin Steele, the new defensive coordinator for LSU, who was on the Alabama staff a year ago. He said the MO for a Lane Kiffin offense early in the game is to give you looks to confuse you. Give you different looks, different motions, and force you to adjust. We know about it. We will not adjust.
Handoff. Derrick Henry, yes indeed. Lamar Lewis. They've had that problem throughout the year.
They are last in the SEC for tackles for a loss. 123rd in the country. 64 of them, and that does not include sacks or penalties, which have been hurting Alabama getting behind the chains.
You think
very unlike an Alabama offense.
Is that attributable to the offensive line?
In a different style. They're playing more of a spread-out offense. No more fullback. There's not even a fullback. Get this, on Alabama, they don't even really have a fullback.
Now they've got Michael Nicewinder, who's really a tight end. There's the flip out, Calvin Ridley. And he is corralled on the sideline and looked like a rodeo tackle. Corey Thompson, number 23, made the step.
Well, this time, when Ridley gets the ball, and watch how this ball is snapped. That's the way it was supposed to be snapped, so you could fake the jet sweep. But watch how it's bracketed. Nowhere to go. One guy on the outside, one guy on the inside. Perfectly played by LSU.
O.J. Howard, bottom of the screen when we get there. He is up on the line. Third down, 10. 3 down, blitz coming. Did they time it right? Coker rolls out. He can run it, but he can't get by Jamal Adams.
He's a tackling machine. He's I think the best strong safety in this conference. He's right there with Keanu Neal from Florida, but he can tackle in space.
Defense.
Great athlete.
Offside. Number 45. 5-yard penalty. Still third down.
That's Deion Jones. And so a new opportunity now for the Crimson Tide. Third and 5. Works off the corner. Caught. Calvin Ridley. That should be enough for a first down.
Well, the go-to, the receiver that has emerged for Alabama is freshman Calvin Ridley. Had a great matchup that time. Going against Jalen Mills, number 28. Mills, as Vern told you, playing after an early season injury. He had 40 starts, the most experienced starter on this LSU football team with 40 starts.
Calvin Ridley came in with 45 catches for the year to lead Alabama. Little mix up in the backfield, and Derrick Henry, modest game. Arden Key, a freshman defensive end, number 49. 7:18 to go, opening quarter. Coker back. Coker is being chased.
One thing you notice, and I think Jake Coker will figure this out pretty quickly as this game goes along. When you're scrambling against these athletes at LSU, there's not as much space as other teams. All that grass gets closed up really quick.
And it'll be third down. 8 yards needed. Coker with Henry alongside. Ridley in the slot, right side. That's O.J. Howard, number 88. Here comes the blitz again. Coker goes deep. Got a man down there, overthrows it. Ridley. Nicely defended by Jalen Mills.
I think he had the man he wanted to throw to, one-on-one to the outside, lined up in the slot right there. That's where he's going to go, just running a kind of a seam route. Got a lot of space to throw the ball to. Not a bad throw. You know, you're going to put it out there. You throw the ball 35, 40 yards downfield, and you get it within 3 or 4 yards. And to the outside, you're going to have to take that.
J.K. Scott, sophomore from Denver, 48-yard average last year as a freshman. Started off very poorly this year against Wisconsin in the opener. Average of 37 yards, but he's really come on. Speaking of coming on, how about that?
I'll tell you, Mika Fitzpatrick is one of the best football players on this Alabama football team. You're not going to see as much of him in normal sets, but they've got him as a gunner now. The reason is he usually plays in the nickel. Well, LSU, not a lot of nickel. Got to find a way to get him on the field.
Minka Fitzpatrick. When we come back, Leonard Fournette. He's carried once for 2 yards. Puts it up. Has to wait on it. Oh no! Eric Reed. How about that? One of the better defensive plays of the year in that game in 2011. Saved touchdown on the wide receiver pass from Marquise Reeves. And now LSU gets the ball. They were 3 and out the first time. I formation. Keithan Luton and Leonard Fournette in the backfield. Fournette. Nope. Let's get an injury update. Once again, here's Allie LaForce.
Thank you, Vern. If you remember, Tre'Davious White injured his knee 2 weeks ago. He's walking up and down the sideline right now. He has been walking for about 5 minutes, just trying not to stand still, trying to keep his body loose. He just now started doing some agility moves, as you can see, but that's the first outside of a walk that he's really gotten into. I'll keep you posted as I see more.
All right, Allie, thank you. 2nd down and 9. Two on the play clock. 1. Fournette, nowhere to run.
Really?
Well,
Almost.
Eddie Jackson finally got there.
That's exactly right, and that's the style of defense Alabama plays. They call it a two-gap. What that means is every one of those defensive linemen for Alabama try to hold that offensive line and peek both sides of their offensive linemen. And then they string it out, and it's the job of the safeties to cut the string.
Do you trust Brandon Harris to throw this deep?
I wouldn't. I wouldn't want my quarterback making a critical error in my own end zone.
Flag.
Yep, delay of game.
Delay of game. Offense, number 6. Half the distance to the goal. Still 3rd down.
They are operating directly in front of the student section.
It was so loud that the only guy that really knew it was Brandon Harris. He could see the clock. He knew he could not get the play off. Everybody else was ready to play football.
3rd and 17.
Boy, back-to-back
Watch
delays.
out! That should be a safety.
No, back-to-back delay of games.
Before the snap, delay of game. Offense, number 6. Half the distance to the goal. 3rd down.
Les Miles saw the clock running down again. You can see 0. Les was attempting to call timeout and couldn't get it called. In reality, I think it's better to keep your timeout. You know what? It's half the distance anyway.
Well, what's in your arsenal for 3rd and 18 from the 1?
I'll tell you what it should be. Don't turn it over.
Harris pumps and goes deep. Double coverage. Traven Durrell.
Nope. Thought it came out. Oh, did he call it a catch?
Yes.
He did? How about that? Just throw it deep, and Durrell goes up and gets it. What a play.
How about the fact he hung on?
He sure did. Got hit by Eddie Jackson, was bobbling it, and he did. He controlled the football. Just as Les Miles drew it up.
37-yard gain. Well, that's what they had in mind on 3rd and 18. Fournette.
One of the things you have to do if you're going to run the ball against this Alabama defense is to commit to running the ball. It's not going to be pretty. Talking to Cam Cameron, he said, we know it's going to be ugly, especially in the first quarter. Les Miles told us, we think what we do running the ball in the first quarter will pay off in the fourth quarter.
2nd down, 6. Out of the gun. This is Fournette going to the right. Well, let's bring you up to date on the Alabama defensive 11. Robinson, Lake, Reed, Reggie Ragland having a sensational year, worthy of All-American consideration, and the remainder of them. Third and 3, under 2 to go, opening quarter. No score.
You got a Heisman guy. Is this a running down? You got a great rushing defense.
Harris. Incomplete. It was intended for Fournette, who's only made 7 catches for the year.
Well, he beat Dylan Lee to the inside. It was a great route by Fournette, and Brandon missed him. That should have been a big play. Dylan Lee's job is not to let the running back get inside. He gashed him inside, and Brandon missed a big play there.
Jamie Keene for the second time. Their catch called. Cyrus Jones at the 8-yard line.
It was a good catch. That
Sure
was that
was.
end-over-end kick that they use when they're trying to stop that ball inside the 10.
Well, they reversed the field. They flipped
Sure
it.
did.
Nation's leader in all-purpose yards. Stanford running back Christian McCaffrey trying out his arm as Stanford rolled past Colorado. The Cardinal can clinch the Pac-12 North with an Oregon loss tonight. Meantime, number 1 Clemson's Deshaun Watson with the go-ahead touchdown pass as the Tigers stay undefeated. Trayvon Boykin, though, 4 interceptions in the loss to Oklahoma State. Back to Vern, Gary, Alley, and a couple of Heisman candidates in Tuscaloosa.
Yes, indeed, Adam. And the comparison so far, there's Fournette, 5 carries, 5 yards. Derrick Henry, 6 carries, 15 yards.
All right, I promise you, they're good. You know, as you look at them, I think the two coaches' contrast is so good in this football game. If I was going to apply one word to Nick Saban, I would say it's tactics. That's what he believes in the football game. If I was going to look at Les Miles, I'd say it's passion. You have to play with passion first, and then everything else comes.
They do have different personalities. Here's Henry, bounces to the right. How about that?
Told you. Both of these guys, if you don't stop them at the line of scrimmage and they get turned upfield, they can make an innocent play look awful dark. Problematic for both teams.
11-yard gain. That was Ricky Jefferson who got popped. And that one is tipped by Lewis Neal. Second down, 10.
Well, Lewis Neal has been one of the most effective football players on this LSU football team. When you're in a passing situation, you better account for him. His motor's going every play.
7 sacks for the year for Lewis Neal. Second down, 10. Mullaney in motion. Coker goes deep. Incomplete. Intended for Ardarius Stewart.
I'll tell you, there was great protection for Ardarius Stewart to cross all the way across the football field. He's matched up against Beck with a middle linebacker. That's a dream come true. Give that one to Lane Kiffin. He called a big play. Coker delivered the ball, and Ardarius Stewart, who was so big in the fourth quarter of that Tennessee game. Remember, he had 3 receptions in the fourth quarter for 70 yards against Tennessee. He drops one there.
They're down 10. Blitz inside. Here goes Calvin Ridley. He's got a block. Move the chain. Corey Thompson with the tackle. They gained 14.
I think this was the best run play by Alabama all night. They go out and they pick off White on the play. Mullaney does a good job. You get Ryan Kelly downfield and a positive play. It's one of those plays that is extremely tough to stop in college football because you're allowed to block before the ball is caught, as long as it's behind the line of scrimmage.
Right side. Kenyon Drake.
way. Late flag behind the play, too. Well, this has got to be a great omen to this Alabama team. Kenyon Drake, who's struggled so much after his horrific injury from a year ago, that's his best run of the year.
Foul, face mask, defense, number 52, 15 yards added to the end of the run. Number 50 on the offense does not have to leave the football game.
Well, it becomes a 33-yard play.
Yeah, I think Beckwith's face mask was on Taylor. That's why he doesn't have to leave the play. It was, well, actually, if that's, I don't know if he got the face mask. I thought it was actually called behind the play, Beckwith on Taylor.
Derrick Henry with this carry.
Well, the big plays in the first quarter were made by LSU, but this drive looks pretty darn threatening.
Put one in the books and keep it scoreless. That's the end of the first quarter. Zip, zip. We'll return to Tuscaloosa after this message and a word from your local station. We welcome you back to Bryant-Denny Stadium on the campus of the University of Alabama. Let's go back, Gary, and take a look at the face mask.
Well, we did think the penalty was Beckwith against Taylor. There's the two players right there. Watch it at the end of the play. It wasn't on Drake. We suspected it was behind the play, and that's what it was. Beckwith actually rips Taylor's helmet off at the end of the play. And that's what the 15 yards was, and that's why Taylor was able to stay in the game, because the defender took his helmet off.
2nd down 6 as we start quarter number 2. And we start it at the 29-yard line. O.J. Howard to the right side. Here's Derrick Henry, gets a little bit of a block from O.J. Howard. Well, we entered the second quarter, no score in the game. We all come in with expectations. Anything that happened out here that's changed your perception?
Nope.
Nope. He is succinct after all.
A lot of good players, opportunities to make plays, but when you have the opportunity, you got to make the play. Both teams have had little mistakes and opportunities to make big plays, but pretty much like we've been seeing for the last 9 years, don't you think?
I think so.
Yep.
How about the battle with Henry and Fournette?
It'll unfold. It'll unfold. Something will happen
so
sooner
we should
or later.
not take much.
Don't leave. Don't leave.
Okay. Oh, goodness. 4th and 1.
You know, you can see the lack of faith in the field goal kicker for Alabama. I mean, they do not want a repeat of 9-6.
You like the decision?
Yeah.
What's not to like?
I liked it both times. I thought they were too far away on the first one to do it. I just didn't like the execution on the first one.
And by the way, congratulations to Austin, Hardin, and the Florida Gators. They fought. They turned it over 4 times, but they won on Hardin's career best 43-yard field goal. And the Gators have booked hotels in Atlanta.
And that was the boring game of the day.
You're right. It was. Kenyon Drake behind Coker. It's Drake, caught behind the line by Jamal Adams. First time they've won the SEC East since 2009. Jim McElwain, what an impact he's made in his first year. Of course, McElwain was for 4 years the offensive coordinator.
As he drives home tonight, he got to play a lotto number. I'll tell you that right now. He is hot.
This is the 11th play of the drive. It began at the 9-yard line. Play action. Coker near side behind Ardarius Stewart.
He really had to get rid of that one and pick a spot because he was getting rushed as the play was let go. Again, I think watching the first quarter, what really strikes out on you is you have to make your decisions quick. There's opportunities, but if you delay, you just take a false step, the quick athletes are going to eat you up.
3rd down 10.
Well, if McElwain was here, I know we'd get a screen pass. Let's see what we get here.
Roll out, blitz.
Oh, that might be something. Yes, that might.
Corey Thompson. Richard Mullaney was the intended receiver.
Pass interference. Defense, number 23. The ball is placed at the spot of the foul. Automatic first down.
Let's see this. I think that ball could have been caught, to tell you the truth. Mullaney would have laid out for that. He's got great hands, and without the pass interference, I think that's a perfect call.
That is the 10th first down for Alabama. About to break the scoreless tie. And the 5th penalty on LSU. So they average 7+ per game. Kenyon Drake gets the toss. He's got Henry in front. Now he surges down toward the 7-yard line. Deion Jones.
Well, one of the reasons I thought that Derrick Henry was the most valuable player in this league for his team, not, obviously Leonard Fournette might be in the league, but for his team was because Alabama really hadn't developed a backup running back. If Kenyon Drake continues to play like he has in the first quarter in a couple minutes, that will solve that problem really quick.
2nd down goal. Play action. Coker chased by Beckwith. Bounces off the tackle. 3rd and goal.
This was well defended by LSU. They attempted to slide the fullback into the flat. Nothing there, and there was nothing for Jake Coker to do to try to get as much as he could and take a hit. And he took a couple of them on that one.
Deion Jones, number 45, was there. 3rd and goal.
Not good when both linebackers hit you on a play. A lot of plays for Alabama are called at the line of scrimmage.
3 on the play clock. Coker drills it behind the intended receiver, Calvin Ridley. Jalen Mills defending. And Adam Griffith will come on to try and break the scoreless tie.
Wow, in the preset here, you got to figure that this is a great matchup. Ridley with an off defensive back, just a poor throw. Maybe 4 or 5 yards behind Ridley. If that's laid out in front, that could have been a touchdown. Probably should have been a touchdown. When you're in the film room, that's when Lane Kiffin is saying, Jake, you got to make that throw.
Adam Griffith, 10 for 16 for the year. This is from 22 yards away. Alabama scores first.
Yeah, but not the 7 they could have, so this is beginning to look familiar.
Well, it's this year's game of the century.
Yeah, exactly. Well, and you see Jake Coker wincing. As I said, when you get hit multiple times by linebackers, and that time by Jalen Mills, the safety, you take some punishment. I don't care how big you are. That adds up.
Yeldon to the 10. Touchdown, Alabama! A.J. McCarron so overcome with emotion after the victory.
That was a memorable shot for me. We've got a few of them. But you can feel, watching that play and that replay and that memory, the pressure that is on these players. Now, it manifests in the quarterback a lot, but I got to believe everybody out there is feeling pressure just like that.
3-0 on the Griffith field goal. He will kick off. Darrell Williams and Darius Geis are the deep men. It's Geis.
Oh, man.
Oh, wow. Michael Nicewinder.
And Nicewinder was the guy, the fullback in the flat on the prior play to third down. So as a reward for not getting a touchdown, he gets to go down on kickoffs. Performed very well.
First down 10. And let's check in with Allie LaForce.
Thank you, Vern. We saw Jay Coker limp a little bit off the field after that last offensive drive. The athletic training staff is feeling around in his left shin and calf. So something in the lower part of his left leg. He got up, threw some passes to see how much pain he was in, then sat back down, and they're feeling around in there some more. I'll let you know as I hear more.
LSU has one first down in the game. Fournette. Marlon Humphrey. Well, Fournette averages 193 yards per game.
Well, this is the stats on the left for Leonard Fournette. He has 7 150 rushing games. This is the stats for teams against Alabama's defense. For the season, only one team has rushed for 150 yards. Amazing.
Second down 9.
He wins the Heisman tonight. He's going to earn it.
Harris dropped. Traven Durrell. Well, Fournette for the evening, 6 carries, 6 yards.
The Alabama defense has strung him out, and the safeties, Matthias Smith and Eddie Jackson, which were a worry for Alabama. There are more corners playing safety, but you know that front 7 has helped, and the 2 safeties so far have held their own.
Fournette is split. Now he goes back to set up alongside Brandon Harris. 3rd and 9. Sidearm. 4th down. Jonathan Allen in pursuit of Harris.
You know, Vern, it used to be when you did an Alabama game, you only needed to remember about 4 or 5 defensive linemen. Now you have to have a board with 9 of them on it. And they roll them in all game. They're all fresh. And I think this is starting to rival one of the best pass rushing defenses I've seen Alabama have for a while as well.
Jamie Keene, 2 really good punts so far. This one not quite as good. Cyrus Jones calls for the fair catch. That's a 41-yard punt. CBS Sports coverage of the Home Depot SEC will continue after this message and a word from your local station. Alabama, and they've got the ball again. Never miss a moment of college football with the CBS Sports app. Every play and score, every game, every highlight, right as they happen. Download the CBS Sports app now.
Remember, as Ellie talked about the injury to Jay Coker, let's go back to that first quarter hit in that shin area and see. Yeah, there it is right there on that left shin. Jalen Mills catches him right there.
He is back on the field. First down 10. Derrick Henry, the running back. Play action. Coker.
Got O.J. Howard big time. Yep.
Does he ever?
We all remember 2 years ago when O.J. Howard broke with that slant pass and impressed us, taking it to the house. This is a well-designed bootleg, one of Lane's favorite plays. It's kind of a boot action. They call it a sneak, and the reason they call it a sneak is they bring the back from the opposite side behind the line of scrimmage and sneak them over there. Well named?
I think so.
Yeah, got the visual? There you go.
Yeah, I do. Because I'm paying attention. 15-yard gain. Derrick Henry.
Well, that's what you're talking about. Any play. You know, you think you're calling a conservative game plan for Alabama or LSU, and a conservative call turns into a big call. The offensive line, a great fit that time by Dominic Jackson, struggling with an injury coming into this game, springs Henry, and once Henry gets into secondary, he is very seldom caught. Great straight arm there to get to the second level.
That's a gain of 40 yards.
Jeez, that's what I say, lightning. Both these backs are going to have to take a timeout here. Nick Saban's all the way down to the 5-yard line.
First charge timeout, Alabama.
I think they had a defensive lineman in there, Ashawn.
Yes, Ashawn Robinson, yes. Derrick Henry, 40-yard gallop. He's got 77 yards on 12 carries. Fournette, 6 for 6 yards. Thank you, Adam. 3-0 here, but Alabama with a golden opportunity to increase that. Look at this. LSU has run 12 plays. Alabama has 12 first downs. Hentges is a tight end, number 84. There's Fournette. Ashawn Robinson is in. He's a blocking back to the left side. Derrick Henry follows Robinson in. Touchdown, Crimson Tide.
Well, this was your typical 3-play Alabama drive. I didn't believe I'm saying it. Start out with a pass, then you have a 40-yard run, and then you power it into the end zone behind your big uglies who really had their best series of the game.
Fournette getting ready to come back on the field.
Just to give you an example of the talent, not just in the specialists, Vern, since 2009, Alabama has 47 players drafted. 10 of them were offensive linemen. LSU's had 44 players drafted, 11 of them defensive linemen. In this game, the Alabama offensive line
will have the try.
Is making the difference.
Substitution infraction. Ross Piercebaker, the sophomore, and Adam Griffith is on to attempt to make it a 10-0 ball game, which he's now done. Overwhelming domination thus far by the Crimson Tide, led by number 2, Derrick Henry. 10-zip. Went, oh my gosh! It was incredible. Geis is back. Henry gets a chance to rest.
This college football's doing pretty well, don't you think?
You know, yes.
I think we may have something here. I'm not sure.
Well, this is one of the great venues in America. Bryant-Denny Stadium, symmetrically almost perfect with 102,000 seats. Some more expensive than others. Now it's time to take a look at our Home Depot tools for success.
You know, Vern, there's combo pass routes, but here's why the offensive linemen practice. Watch this block between the guard and the tackle that ends up pushing linebacker Deion Jones out of the way. Alphonse Taylor and Dominic Jackson play it, push him out of the way, a combo block. That's what I used to wonder what they did all the time down there. When I was throwing the ball, that's what they practiced right there.
Ryan Kelly, Piercebaker, the starting line. Dominic Jackson, number 76.
Mario Cristobal, the offensive line coach, mentioned around for head coaches.
Harris. Flag is down.
Personal foul, defense, number 95, face mask, 15-yard penalty added to the end of the run, first down.
That's Darren Lake. Apparently he grabbed the face mask of William Clapp, the right guard, number 64.
Well, Darren Lake and Darren Payne, 95 and 94, will play more in this football game because of the style that LSU uses. Both of them are nose tackles. There'll be some games where they don't even get out there. But in this type of game, they're going to find some snaps.
Well, largest deficit of the year for the undefeated Tigers of LSU. There's the old-fashioned I formation. Fournette, John David Moore, the fullback. Here's Fournette. Reggie Ragland was the first man there, number 19.
Vern, this is a very young football team LSU has, and now Cam Cameron, right there, the offensive coordinator, ex-NFL coach, he understands that he has a team that has to be patient right now. It'd be a mistake to overreact and make a big mistake right now. It's a long football game. Let's see what he does here. The quarterback on the road and a young team.
This is the first time LSU has made a snap in Alabama territory. Brandon Harris tries to slip a tackle. He's just short of the first down. Dalvin Tomlinson, number 20, is 54. And Reggie Ragland, number 19. Third down.
Brandon Harris averages about 5 to 6 runs per game. Some of them come off of scrambled pass calls. But I think in this game, because of the success that Joshua Dobbs from Tennessee had at Jalen Hurd, we may see more of those called quarterback runs. They got to find a way to spring Fournette, and that may be using the quarterback in the run game.
They slip it to Darrell Williams, and he's got a first down.
Nicely designed play. You bring Fournette in motion. You get a lot of eye movement by the Alabama defense. A little too much distraction, and they're able to pick up the first down.
First down 10. Fournette back on the field. Boom! Dalvin Tomlinson first there. Ryan Anderson second.
Yeah, Ryan Anderson was supposed to be, as you see, the fullback. Is that J.D. Moore that time?
It is, yes.
J.D. Moore has been struggling with injuries. He did not start the game, and it looks like he may not finish the game as well. That's why Mouton has been playing, who's a true freshman at fullback. They miss J.D. Moore.
Is number 44.
Looks like his leg collapses when he makes contact right there.
Well, the medical staff is out dealing with John David Moore, able to walk off without assistance. But Gary indicated he's had
leg problems all year, and he was a question mark whether he was going to play. They were hoping he'd be healthy enough, but it's one thing running around in practice, another thing taking on 320-pound defensive linemen. Looked like his leg just buckled on him.
second down 12 after that loss of 2. Darrell Williams. That's Colin Jeter, the tight end, goes to the left side. Comes the blitz from the corner. Harris.
Got him.
Got him!
Yep.
Touchdown, Traven Durrell.
perfect call, corner blitz. You got the exact matchup you wanted, and Cam Cameron pulled off a perfect play, and Brandon Harris delivered a strike.
Trent Domingue is on to try the extra point. Up and good.
Well, here's the start of it. Alabama and Kirby Smart gambles bringing a corner blitz. That means the safety has one-on-one coverage. You get a receiver running at you full speed, he's got the advantage. Instantly, Brandon Harris knew he had it, and he went to the right guy. He knew he had time, and he delivered.
Cyrus Jones hit Harris, but it was only after a perfect strike. That hit from Cyrus Jones, getting a little medical attention now. Looks like they're working on his right knee. LSU, that's only Harris's second completion of the ball game, but what a big one.
Hey, he's making him count. 2 for 77.
Kick taken by Kenyon Drake. Knocked out of bounds, but a fine return. TV's #1 comedy is Genius. Join Emmy winner Jim Parsons and the rest of the gang on a new Big Bang Theory Thursday at 8/7 Central, only CBS. First down 10. 6:05 to go in the first half. Kenyon Drake behind Coker. That's O.J. Howard, goes to the right. Drake, a couple. Deion Jones, number 45 for the Tigers.
I'll tell you, Deion Jones and Kendall Beckwith have the quickness to the tackle. Remind me very much of the inside linebackers for Florida, Morrison and Davis. They just explode to the football.
Gain of 1, second down 9. Clock at 5:36 remaining in the first half. Play action. Coker got him. Jalen Mills, lightning quick.
Well, Kirby Smart does the corner blitz, and it hurts. This time you get the corner cat, and Coker knew he was in trouble right away. Could not spin out of it, and another sack, another negative play, and another play where this Alabama team is way behind the chains.
Loss of 10, 3rd and 19. Calvin Ridley near side. There are 3 men. Top of the screen to the right. And off. It's going to be 4th down, and LSU will get the ball back. A little extracurricular activity. Let's go down to Allie LaForce.
Vernon Gary, a couple quick injury updates for you. J.D. Moore is out for the game. Also, quarterback Brandon Harris was getting some work done on his right knee. They were just massaging it. He got up quickly, though, and has joined his teammates on the sideline.
Can't go out of the game after a touchdown pass, right? Yeah. Whatever. I'm going back out there. One more.
J.K. Scott on to punt on 4th and 16. Dante Jackson, number 1, is back.
This one turned over nicely.
Did. Cats made it to 25. And he gets 7 on the return. Dylan Lee, number 25, made the stop. Leonard Fournette, per game, 193 yards. And that is a cue to bring the duck onto the screen. Time for the Aflac trivia question. Who holds the SEC single season record for highest average rush yards per game. That is the Aflac trivia question. 3:48 remaining first half. LSU trailing by 3. Play action. Deep left side. Catch is made by Malachi Dupree.
Sometimes it only takes one completion to get into the football game and start to feel comfortable. This throw is about a 35-yard throw on a line, clear across the field, right on target.
Harris back again. Struggled, hits a defender in the back.
It's going to be interference.
Yes, indeed. Cyrus Jones. It was intended for Dupree.
Pass interference. Defense, number 5. 15-yard penalty, automatic first down.
Really don't blame Cyrus Jones on that play. What are you going to do? You can't give him a touchdown. And in college football, it just being a 15-yard penalty, you might as well take the penalty rather than letting that ball go over your head.
Second penalty on Alabama. They're going to get caught. They have to hustle defenders on. And they get them set. 1st and 10. Harris to the 24-yard line.
Well, this is the zone read keep that I thought we'd see. And this time they're running it off the defensive tackle. And when you run it off the defensive tackle, they're not used to having that.
Quick snap. Double coverage. Incomplete.
When you isolate an inside defensive tackle on the play, you've got a guy that's not used to doing it. This time it's a nose tackle. And you're running against a freshman nose tackle. Another well-conceived play by Cam Cameron. He's on a roll now.
2nd down 10.
It takes a lot of work and a lot of hours to set up that play and run it exactly against the guy you want to do it.
Better hurry. They do get the ball snapped, and again.
I'll tell you, there were some questions about those safeties. Okay, with Gino Mateus-Smith and Eddie Jackson without having a thumper safety on the field. But you know for 2 weeks, they've heard the same thing. You guys are too small. You guys are corners. Are you going to be able to tackle Leonard Fournette? Well, he came up and just delivered.
Fournette, 9 carries, 9 yards. 3rd and 9. Harris down the middle, incomplete.
Be about a 40-yard field goal if they try it.
Trent Domingue, one of the heroes in the win over Florida when he took a pass from Brad Craigthorpe and bobbled it about 3 times, but scored on the fake field goal. That was the winning margin for Les Miles' team. This is from 40 yards out. He's perfect for the year. 9 of 9. Make it 10 of 10, and we are tied.
Well, about 6 minutes ago, it looked like Alabama had control of this game, and you know what LSU did? They kept playing.
Well, we're a couple of minutes away for the Geico halftime report. We're back to our New York studios, and I'm quite sure they will show you that goofy play, backward pass that helped Arkansas knock off Ole Miss 53-52 in overtime.
Or as it's being called by some of the writers, I saw Pat Forty named it Woo Pig Lateral. It's pretty good. Got to do those quick, you know. Got to beat everybody to Twitter nowadays.
Oh my gosh. 2:22 to go before the break.
Followed by Woo Pig face mask, right, on fourth down?
Yes, it was.
Oh my. Went out of bounds. This is reminiscent of a year ago. At the end of the game, 50 seconds to go, kick went out of bounds, and Blake Sims had a short field and ended up tying the game.
There it is, out of
Free kick
bounds.
out of bounds.
5.
Kicking team number 36. The receiving team has chosen to take the football at the 35-yard line.
And you know, this
First
is
down.
no big thing unless the little thing turns into a big thing.
Got a glimpse of Bradley Dale Pivito, the special teams coach. Second stint with Les Miles in Baton Rouge. So first down 10. 2 timeouts left for Alabama. There's Pivito.
Odd to see a team now like LSU that doesn't have a kickoff guy that can get it into the end zone. They are pooching it down to about the 10, and if you don't do it well, it can go out of bounds.
Tie game. Got him! Or Darius Stewart. That's a gain of 19.
Well, the final piece of this Alabama offense might be our Darius Stewart. Remember, they started out with Richard Mullaney being the go-to guy. Then Calvin Ridley emerged, and now they've added a Darius Stewart.
That's a first down 10. Henry.
He was always there.
Yeah, that's so right. 90 yards now. That's a gain of 11.
And now that little thing of that kick out of bounds allowed Alabama to open up their game plan. Right now, Ed Ogeron, the defensive line coach for LSU, is going, this is what I'm getting paid for, to produce a sack with my D-line.
First down 10. Henry. Nothing doing this time. Kendall Beckwith and Corey Thompson came up. There's Orgeron. One-time head coach at Ole Miss. Caught a glimpse of Bradley Dale Pivito, the special teams coach. Second stint with Les Miles in Baton Rouge. So first down 10. 2 timeouts left for Alabama. There's Pivito.
Odd to see a team now like LSU that doesn't have a kickoff guy that can get it into the end zone. They are pooching it down to about the 10, and if you don't do it well, it can go out of bounds.
Tie game. Got him! Or Darius Stewart. That's a gain of 19.
Well, the final piece of this Alabama offense might be our Darius Stewart. Remember, they started out with Richard Mullaney being the go-to guy. Then Calvin Ridley emerged, and now they've added a Darius Stewart.
That's a first down 10. Henry.
He was always there.
Yeah, that's so right. 90 yards now. That's a gain of 11.
And now that little thing of that kick out of bounds allowed Alabama to open up their game plan. Right now, Ed Ogeron, the defensive line coach for LSU, is going, this is what I'm getting paid for, to produce a sack with my D-line.
First down 10. Henry. Nothing doing this time. Kendall Beckwith and Corey Thompson came up. There's Orgeron. One-time head coach at Ole Miss.
LSU, he says, I want to go play for a guy that can teach me how to get to the NFL. You know the easiest path to the NFL? hit the quarterback.
Third down, 18. 31 seconds to go.
Timeouts are there.
A little surprised. And they settle for the short pass to Mullaney.
Yeah, it turned out to be a good move because with that negative play, they didn't want to give the ball back to LSU, but a little bit conservative in my mind. You can't think you're going to get sacked.
So 4th and 12. And J.K. Scott comes on 4th down.
Well, we know one thing. Hugh Freeze would go for it. He went for it today on 4th down. A huge decision, I thought.
Second drive of the first half, Alabama.
Almost came back to bite Hugh Freeze on that play with the field goal, but they got a block.
So time taken, 10-10. Be right back. Anybody remember the Iron Bowl 2013? Adam Griffith attempted a 57-yard field goal. This is from 55.
Yeah, good news for Alabama. No one's back there.
That's the first thing I look for. There's no Chris Davis.
LSU's playing a little bit safe on this play.
Griffith.
They don't want to fake.
Ooh. Wow!
He's gotten stronger. That was good from 58.
My goodness.
Haven't even attempted a field goal outside of 45 yards this season, and he makes that one.
Adam Griffith hammers it home from 55. Still 14 seconds to go before the break. Well, let's get the Duck back on center stage and answer the Aflac trivia question of the night. Aflac, who holds the SEC single season record for highest average rushing yards per game? Herschel Walker, 171.9 in 1981. Fournette averaging 193, but tonight in the first half, 9 carries, 9 yards. Darius Dice.
Well, we don't know if it was Tony Brown or Cam Sims. It was one of those two guys. The reason they have 2 number 7s. Looked
Tony
like
Brown.
Tony Brown.
Yep.
Man, I was at practice Thursday, and Nick Saban lit into Tony Brown and said, "If you don't want to be here, Tony, get out of here." He must have lit a fire on him because he's on the kickoff team, and they're glad he's here tonight.
One heck of a play by Tony Brown.
I don't know if it amounted to anything except it turned out a lot of people. I don't think LSU was going to do anything with that kickoff anyway afterwards.
There was this little matter that you mentioned. A little thing becoming a larger thing.
The kickoff out of bounds.
Exactly.
Well, and I didn't really think that Alabama could kick a 55-yard field goal. Now we know.
Well, the running back comparison for the first half decidedly favoring Derrick Henry with 90 yards, Fournette's longest gain, 4 yards. Let's go down to Allie with Les Miles.
Coach, this is just a 3-point game despite just 39 yards rushing for your team. How do you get Leonard Fournette in a better position to succeed in the second half?
Yeah, we did not execute the running game in the first half. It's something that we have to do, for us to maintain the ball and have opportunities at big plays. We have to stay on the field.
Defensively, what would you like to see your team do better?
We just need to tackle that big back at that one drive. Other than that, I think we're in pretty good shape with defense.
Thanks, Coach.
Thank you.
Simplicity is the way to say it. We just got to tackle that big back. I think he's right.
He wears number 2. His name is Derrick Henry. That's the end of the first half, 13-10. Let's go to Adam Zucker in our New York studio. Just moments ago with Nick Saban.
Coach, you decided to go for the 55-yard field goal, and it paid off. What did that do for the confidence of this team, but also for Adam Griffith, who's struggled all year?
Well, I think it was big. He hits them in practice, but it was great to see him hit it in the game. It was a big kick, so great for us, great for our team.
You've held the best running back in the nation to just 9 yards in the first half. How do you continue to win that battle up front?
Well, but we can't give up big plays. We gave up too many big plays. We weren't lined up a couple times. They're quick snapping us. They're kind of messing with us on the substitution, running guys in and out. So we just got to get lined up, get our players lined up, and play with confidence.
Thanks, Coach.
All right, thank you.
LSU will get the ball to open the third quarter. Adam Griffith, after that 55-yard field goal, will kick this one into the end zone. Well, I asked you at the end of the first quarter, any surprise? How about at that?
I am surprised now. I thought the 2 areas of most concern for each team was Alabama's offensive line and how they gave up negative plays, and whether Brandon Harris could step up. I think they've been the 2 strengths of each team. Alabama's offensive line in protection and run for Henry, and I think Brandon Harris has saved LSU in this football game because Fournette has been stopped basically for nothing.
Big surprise in that regard, Fournette?
Well, you have to be, as good as he is, but I'll get back to this. This might be as deep and as strong of an Alabama front seven as we've ever seen. And they've showed it and played that way tonight. They've dominated the line of scrimmage.
Brandon Harris, play action. He rolls to his right. Intercepted. Picked off by Dylan Lee. And that is the first interception of the season for Brandon Harris.
Dylan Lee may run right over to Kirby Smart and hand him the ball because in passing situations, Dylan Lee usually has to leave the field. And now he's going to say, Coach, I can play pass defense too, I'll tell you that. Cameron comes out and tries to make something happen. Ball was thrown behind the outside to Trey Quinn, number 8. And Dylan Lee runs underneath that and makes the pick.
That is only the 3rd turnover all season.
Pointed to himself. He's right. Tried to force something in there. Coach gives you a play on first down. Anything but a disaster.
Kenyon Drake is in the backfield. Now he's down inside the 20 to the 10. Dives in.
I think looks like they have him stepped out.
I think so. Ball is marked between the 3 and the 4.
A little slip screen to Kenyon Drake. He gets into the secondary. Yes, he did step out. The crowd was going crazy. The players were going crazy. Vern was ready to go crazy, but the official stayed calm and watched the feet.
First down goal. Derrick Henry.
How about that? One coordinator calls a pass, gets a big play. The other one calls a pass, gets a big play, but not exactly the same way.
No. Henry Here come the reserve.
Yes.
The troops. Michael Nicewinder will be, I assume, the lead blocker here. Brandon Green has switched jersey numbers. Now number 89, so he is, let's see if he's on the line or in the backfield. He's on the left side. Derrick Henry. Nice defensive job.
Well,
Third and goal.
Vern, we all remember the great stand that Alabama made at the end of the game a year ago. Of course, helped by that penalty, that 15-yard penalty. This would be just as, well, I can't say just as big, but it would be huge for LSU.
And here are the Verizon red zone numbers for Alabama. Ashawn Robinson, who was the lead blocker on a previous touchdown. The defensive end is back in there. Henry, touchdown, Alabama.
Well, I really love the patience of Lane Kiffin here. Stuffed on first down, stuffed on second down, and you know what? He tries to power it on third down. A lot of people, sometimes I think so too, to be honest. Lane would rather shoot the three than make the layup. This time he just kept going for the layup.
Adam Griffith with the extra point attempt. The first interception thrown this year by Brandon Harris leads. There's Lane Kiffin. Take us through this sequence.
Different generation of coaches. Lane's right out there participating, but it was all started by Dylan Lee. Undercut it, poor throw, then the little slip screen. And this, I think, is the one that Lane Kiffin is most happy about. He was ready. There's only a few times you can make the call and steal points, and then he stayed patient. And he believed in his offensive line and that one big defensive lineman, and it worked.
Overhead view of the crowd of 102,000 plus. Coming up Thursday night on NFL Network, the Bills and the Jets. That's Thursday on NFL Network. LSU about to get it for the second time in the second half. That'll be a touchback. Gary, take us through the game trends.
Well, these are mostly stats, and we saw it. Derrick Henry had that one bruising run, but he was effective on other ones too. 93 yards is impressive. Story of the game. We talked about this yesterday, Vern. Nobody else heard it, but we'll talk about it now. I did not see any path for LSU to win if Henry didn't get 125, 150. And he's a long way from there. You know, Brandon Harris, I thought, was the story of the first half. They saved LSU. I think now he's going to have to redeem it to do it now. And, you know, they were down by 10 points before. If I'm Harris, I'm going, guys, we did it once. We can do it again.
Back to the I formation on first down 10. Here comes Fournette. My gracious, the yards are tough tonight. He's working on 9 consecutive games with a rushing total in excess of 100 yards. And a long way from that right now. 10 carries, 10 yards.
You know, Dylan Lee right here sets the edge. He gets an interception, sets the edge, and forces him backside. That back-to-back plays by Dylan Lee on the edge. Kirby Smart, defensive coordinator, loves that. Just loves it. That's how they teach defense. Holy cow.
This is something. Jaron Reed this time, number 90.
Every coach I talk to, as you take a look at Kirby Smart, who had one play I believe he'd like to have back, that corner blitz. Remember, Leonard Fournette was not even in the game when he did the corner blitz, trying to get a big negative play. Cost him. But outside of that, his defense has practically pitched a perfect game here.
3rd down 9. Dupree heads in motion. Here's Harris. Got him. First down. That was a great pass.
Time to wind up. And Dupree makes the grab. Laverne, I've been out at practice at LSU many times, and I can tell you Malachi Dupree is about as pretty receiver as you'll see. He's almost like a center fielder the way he waits for the last second to put his hands up and catch the ball. Beautiful player.
Harris back, comes near side, one hops it. That was intended for Tyron Johnson, number 3. Cam Cameron, to your point, was talking about Dupree and said he has hands like Odell Beckham and Jarvis Landry. That's high praise.
Well, those guys are doing pretty well at the next level.
I've heard that. Sean Robinson tackles.
I'll tell you, one time it's number 93, Allen. Then it's Jaron Reed, number 90. This time it's Sean Robinson, 86. A run stunt that time. Did you see the crossing of the tackles? A little bit of a run stunt right into the play.
Fournette now 12 carries for 9 yards. Third and 11. On the run, incomplete. Ronnie Harrison, 4th down.
They really spied on, excuse me there, Vern. They really.
Number 74 of the offense. That penalty is refused. It'll be 4th down.
Alabama really only rushed 3 players. They were spied Rashard Evans, number 32, and it paid off because the 3 defenders put enough pressure on Harris to get him out of the pocket.
That brings on Jamie Keene for the punt. Cyrus Jones is back. He is at the 25. Comes up, grabs it. Watch out.
And it's going to come back. Nice wander, number 46 had a block in the back that time, and it's going to come back. Unless the Miami Duke officials are doing this game, then we don't know what could happen.
Oh.
Is that too soon, Vern? Is it too soon? Okay, all right, too soon.
10 yards from the spot of the foul. 1st down.
Just had a personal foul called on me in the booth here.
I saw the flag thrown, yeah.
Too soon. Yeah, I think so.
Auto Trader. Advocare. And by Chick-fil-A. We welcome you back to Bryant Denny. Leonard Fournette for the night. 12 carries, 8 yards.
Well, there's a reason why in 111 games at Alabama with Nick Saban's defense, there's only been 3 backs that gain over 150 yards. Watch how they play run defense. Those 3 backs in 2007, Derek McFadden. Trey Mason in 2013, Ezekiel Elliott in the national championship game. 3 in 111 games. That's what Leonard Fournette is up against, and his offensive line cannot crack it.
Here's the handoff to Kenyon Drake. Boy, he looks good tonight.
Yeah. I'll never forget, it was 2-3 years ago now, going to a practice, and some true freshman was on the scout team, and he had the defense, the top defense, oohing and on was his runs, and it was Kenyon Drake.
This is Drake again. Yeah, he had that terrible injury and has fought his way back. Now Calvin Ridley breaks and goes wide to the left side. Mullaney is in the slot, and Derrick Henry is back in the lineup. Play action. Coker. Christian Locouture.
I think he was at the right tackle position, if I'm correct. Yes, there he is, right there. Play action pass. Locouture busts through, comes on a little bit of a stunt, and then actually Jake Coker kind of spins out before he should have on that play. You know, thinking about it, one of the things Les told us is this game tests your spirit. And it's a long football game, and you have to stand up and fight. There's going to be times when it's bad, and you have to fight through it. Locouture did it on that one.
On third down, inside play by Ridley, but Locouture makes his second consecutive defensive play.
Well, that's what Les Miles was talking about. When things look bleak, interception, touchdown, things are going well for Alabama. That's when your spirit gets tested, and the LSU Tigers answered it on that drive.
J.K. Scott, line drive. One hopper and brother. 8:11 to go, third quarter. That is a 39-yard kick. Never got more than 20 feet off the ground. We're midway through the third. Alabama. He has taken a hammering tonight.
Good for you, Zach, to walk off that field. I love it. Do not lay down on that field.
Zach Mettenberger limping off after a tough evening.
I just thought that represented all the proud warriors in this game, even the teams that lose in this game. This is a fight to the finish. That was 2013, and I'll never forget that.
Out of the shotgun, bobbled snap, Fournette. Listen to this, Gary. Well, first let's check in with Allie LaForce.
Thank you, Vern. Just a quick update on Brandon Harris. If he's hurt, he's not showing me any signs of it. He came over to the sidelines, put his headset on as usual, did not receive any medical attention. We saw him limping after that last offensive drive a little bit, but it doesn't seem like a concern to him at all at this point.
Second down, 9. Play clock at 5.
Cam Cameron talked to him about this game, and he says, you know, we're going to have 2 game plans against this Nick Saban, Kirby Smart defense. It's the same way I used to try to do it against Belichick. They're so good about making adjustments that in the second half I'll come out with something new. He said the most important thing about that, though, the first half plays have to work or they won't adjust. So far, no need to adjust for Alabama.
Third down's 4. Harris batted backwards. Fourth down.
Nobody does it better. They mush rush, not a lot of stunts. The big guys just push inside, and they bat balls down. A'Shawn Robinson gets this one. A'Shawn Robinson is lighter this year. He changed his diet. He feels he's a better football player. He's quicker. I don't know how you get much better than he was last year, but it does look like he's quicker.
Jamie Keene. Cyrus Jones calls for the fair catch and takes it. 41-yard punt. Leonard Fournette, 14 carries. 2010, Alabama leads at 6:33 to go in the third quarter. Well, the college football playoff, Gary, the top 10 revealed earlier the week. Clemson, LSU, Ohio State, Alabama, and so on down to Florida.
Well, they are looking like geniuses right now, but here's the way we started the day on my committee of one. Okay? If LSU, who's losing now, cannot turn this thing around, they're going to drop out of my number 2 seed. But look it, they're just going to fall the SEC to the 4th seed. I still think any team with one loss that wins the SEC championship is in. And of course, this not going to happen anymore. So I still think the SEC's in. But it has to be one loss. And there's still a lot of football to be played there. Memphis also lost. I should have drawn a line through them as well. That storyline is gone.
Ryan Kelly, the senior, graduate student actually, number 70 over the ball.
One of only 3 Alabama.
Oh, fumble! Henry gets it back. Oh.
Well, this LSU defense rose up last series. And remember, the story of the recent history of this series is LSU has only scored over 20 points once in the last 7 games.
Calvin Ridley. How about that little move? And he is popped as he nears the sidelines, but he picks up a first down.
Obviously, they're going to have to score more than 20 tonight to win. This matchup has a lot of factors, and one of them is elite players. Remember Julio Jones against Patrick Peterson? Well, you're looking at a new elite player right there in Calvin Ridley.
Henry. Deion Jones with the tackle for LSU.
You've got elite players making a statement on this game. You've got program players. Remember Jacob Hester with the touchdown?
Oh, yeah.
Blake Sims, another program player. You've got the emotions of AJ and the warrior mentality that we showed you in Metzenberger. The series has it all.
Take that. To Sean Bauer, number 46, knocks it down.
Bauer, injured in the Syracuse game, was back for the Florida game, starting to get his health back and batted balls on those quick passing games. The best help for that secondary is to get those defensive linemen to get their hands up.
Coker is 12 of 18 tonight for 123 yards. Alabama with a 3rd and 9 and has a 10-point edge. That's Mullaney in motion. 5-man rush. Coker gets rid of it. Ridley.
This is Jake Coker's best play of the football game. He knew he had a free rusher coming right at him. He double clutched. He waited as long as he could, and he delivered the play. What a play by Jake Coker.
It was John Battle who almost got there. Number 26. Henry.
Vern, as we're counting down here, closing into the third quarter with the score 20-10, you start to get the feeling that LSU needs that turnover. And they're woeful at turnovers. Only 9 on the season. They're ranked 109th in the country. They need one bad.
2nd down, 6. Kenyon Drake.
Holy cow. Before we did the Georgia game, Alabama versus Georgia, Lane Kiffin told me he had a long talk with Kenyon Drake. He said, Kenyon, every game you try to do too much, you're hurting yourself for the next level. Just be yourself. That is what Kenyon Drake looks like when he's playing his football.
See the rushing comparison. See Derrick Henry surge over left guard. Guy's pretty good. He's got 102 yards in the game now. His counterpart, Fournette, 14 carries, 14 yards. Henry with 102, Kenyon Drake with 70. Henry, first down goal, Alabama.
Nick Saban says he does not like to give his offense or defensive play callers advice. Right now, my advice to Lane Kiffin would be keep going for layups. Don't get fancy. Tried to go tempo.
False start. Offense, number 74. 5-yard penalty. First down.
Tried to hurry up on the play, and Alabama kind of shot themselves in the foot.
That's Cam Robinson.
One wonders why you have to hurry up when your other tempo's working so good.
LSU calls timeout after the penalty is walked off against coverage of college football's greatest traditions and biggest rivalries, and this is one of them.
I just think this is a good timeout by Alabama. This Alabama staff realizes, and Nick Saban realizes that the difference between a field goal and a touchdown could be the ball game.
Kenyon Drake. Now the handoff goes to Henry after Drake was in motion.
Remember, 23-10 is a lot different than 27-10.
Here comes Nicewinder.
And LSU defense realize a stop here is huge.
Second down goal.
Now it looks like Alabama's going to have to take them on if they're not careful. Both sides realizing how big this series is. A stop here keeps it within 2 touchdowns.
Well, each team has used a timeout now. Poker chatting with Nick Saban and Lane Kiffin.
Went with a 57-34 advantage in plays. You see the little difference in this Alabama team than past teams. They're a little bit more with the no huddle. They're running more plays. They now are ranked in the top 40 in college football in plays per game. They don't really change their style as much. They still run it, but they run it more without a huddle than they ever have.
Second and goal. Henry. Whoa, Nicewinder helps him stroll in. Touchdown. Derek.
Nicewinder got the final block, but LSU's defense really sucked inside, and even without a great block by Nicewinder, that might have been a walk-in anyway.
Adam Griffith for the extra point, the hold from Cooper Bateman.
What was that, 10, 11 plays, Vern?
11.
You got it. Watch how the defense gets sucked inside on this play with the play-action pass, and Nicewinder comes from the left side to the right side, gets outside. Ross Pierce-Baker, number 71, also got a nice seal block on the play. The timeout by Alabama, well worth it. LSU tried to use one. They could not get the stop. When you dial the right play, that's how you feel about it. The 2 running backs did a nice job on that drive, didn't they?
Oh, goodness.
Yes.
The touchdown comes from 7 yards out. The deficit is now 17. Alabama 39 runs, 19 passes.
We talked about how LSU, it might be one of the stories of it in this matchup lately. As we said, only one time have they scored more than 20 points. In every matchup except the 9-6 game, Alabama has scored 20 or more. Not enough points when you get right down to it.
This is Darius Geis. Bounces off a potential tackle. Boy, he is a fighter. A flag is down at the 13-yard line. Actually, there are 2 of them.
During the return, holding on the receiving team. Number 35, half the distance to the goal, first down.
Now let's go to Adam Zucker in our New York studio for an Advocare update. How about that? That student section up and noisy right now. Harris got a lot of time, but then that pocket collapses, and Dylan Lee, who is having a fine game, makes the tackle.
Well, what happened is Cam Cameron tried to do a double move to the outside. That's why Harris had to hold on to the ball too long. LSU is trying to find something to make a big play. That's the problem for LSU. They're not built this way. When you say, what do they got to do? If you try to manufacture a trick play, you risk the sack.
Fournette cannot get loose.
A'Shawn Robinson again. Inside at the tackle position, drives back his blocker and then lays out and makes the play.
Third and 16.
Not sure I've seen a better rush defense than this in a long time. Can't remember, unless somebody's another Alabama defense.
Deep side.
Same play they tried when they were backed up before. Let's just try to throw the ball to the sideline and see if one of our athletes can save us. Durrell that time could not. He did it earlier, but on that one he couldn't. And LSU forced to punt, and this thing could get out of whack real fast.
You bet. Jamie Keene. That one out of bounds, and it's very short. At the 39-yard line. Now let's take a look at our AT&T strong performance.
Which play are you going to show? I mean, there's about 20 of them. This Alabama team, whether it's Kenyon Drake or Derrick Henry, they got the finesse, they've got the power, but it's all on the back of the strength of their defense. It's so hard to run against them, you know, without involving the quarterback run the way Tennessee did. It looks like this Alabama defense can stop you. Remember, Ohio State did it the same way. They ran just enough of the spread power, and sooner or later they broke it.
Henry. Derrick Henry is out of Yulee, Y-U-L-E-E, Florida. It's just northeast of Jacksonville, Florida. Classified as a 4A school. There are 8 classifications in Florida high school. And he said they couldn't get, the high school coach said they could not get schools of comparable size to schedule them.
No, I don't.
So they had to,
have to tackle them. That's why.
The 7 and 8A schools out of Jacksonville. And despite all that, Derrick Henry rushed for more than 4,000 yards in his senior year. Corralled that time. Deion Jones. Final 40 seconds, third quarter. Drake on, Henry off.
Well, it's going to happen again in this series. LSU has only led once entering the fourth quarter. That was 2009, and that's a game they've lost. 7 times Bama led going into the fourth quarter. One of time it was tied. Going in the fourth quarter tonight, it's going to be a big lead for Alabama.
Ardarius Stewart out of the backfield. Timeout. Alabama. Navy facing Florida. The Veterans Classic only on the 24-hour home of CBS Sports. 4 seconds remaining, third quarter. Same formation.
Same play.
Yep, there's Stewart.
Pretty close, too, isn't he?
And that is the end of 3. Alabama 27-10. We will return to Tuscaloosa right after this message and a word from your local station. Thus far, it's been a Henry kind of night. Derrick Henry has led Alabama to this 17-point lead as we began the fourth quarter. Vern Lundquist, Gary Danielson, Allie LaForce from T-Town, Tuscaloosa, and a long, long night for Leonard Fournette. Kenyon Drake. Well, these are staggering numbers for Leonard Fournette. If there's a shock tonight, it's the fact he's got carried 15 times for 13 yards.
Well, everyone knew that for Leonard Fournette to win the Heisman, he's going to have to go through Tuscaloosa. Everybody knew that in this football game. Now one wonders, has it flipped all the way to the other side? Is now Derrick Henry in position to be top 3, 4 in the talk, or can Leonard Fournette get back into it? You know, I mean, I don't like to talk about it too much, but, you know, the way Henry has played in this football game and the way Fournette's been shut out, there's going to be ramifications.
This one, the tackle is made on Kenyon Drake by Dwayne Thomas, number 13. Well, and you think of the list, he's been a prohibitive favorite since the Auburn game, when he began that streak of 3 consecutive games with 200 yards plus. Well, Trevon Boykin, who's been second on most lists, threw 4 interceptions today.
They lost as well.
Yeah.
You know, Vern, what this says is that we do know Leonard Fournette is the same back he was going into this game.
Absolutely.
Right? So what you know is that the guys around him could not produce the openings.
And give credit to that run defense of the Crimson Tide. Coker. Drake. Dwayne Thomas, 1 of 3. And there's a flag down.
Boy, Alabama was just trying to get in position for a field goal, and they don't want it to back up.
Offense.
Yeah, it's one thing they did not want.
10-yard penalty. Replay third down.
They threw a quick pass. They really weren't trying to go downfield there. They were just trying to set it up a little closer for a field goal attempt. And what happens? They lose 10 yards on a holding call.
Pierce Baker, sophomore.
Ross Piercebaker out of Iowa, recalls sitting at home in Iowa watching this game on television, and that's when he decided he was going to not go to Iowa, by the way, pretty good football team this year.
Yes, they are.
And come and play here.
He's from Cedar Falls, Iowa. Ridley this time is in the slot, top of the screen. O.J. Howard, number 88. Here's Coker. Got it! Ardarius Stewart.
They drag across the tight end and then put Stewart out. You know what really stood out there? The time that Coker had to wait to throw that ball. And now right back into field goal range. Kenyon Drake played his part, and on that last one he actually stayed in and helped in the pass protection.
So here's Griffith with a 55-yarder at the end of the first half. This was from 30 yards out. Three for three. Got off to a horrendous start this year. Missed his first four. Came into tonight 10 of 16, but surging with confidence right now, I am sure. 30 to 10. That's a golf clap.
Game recap.
Well, we have witnessed an amazing defensive job by Alabama, holding Leonard Fournette to 13 yards on 15 carries. A long gain tonight of 4 yards thus far. His counterpart, Derrick Henry, 129 yards, 3 touchdowns. That's all on 27 carries. Here's Nicewander clearing the block for Henry to stroll in. And then just moments ago, Adam Griffith tacked on his third field goal of the night.
And just to put it in perspective, Leonard Fournette coming into this game, you heard about the yards, but he had 20 rush attempts of 15 yards or more. Nothing.
Nope. Long gain, and it seems a long time ago, was 4 yards. He's attempting to become only the second Heisman winner in the history of LSU football. Billy Cannon got the first in 1959. And there's the guy who told us he is living the dream. Starting quarterback for the Crimson Tide, having started his career at Florida State University. Here's Griffith. Darius Geis. Minka Fitzpatrick. Is that Dylan Lee? He got up.
I'll say this was a 5-star guy. I'm not sure which one it was.
Yeah, that's right. Don't forget the Napa play of the game presented by Napa Auto Parts. That makes sense. That's coming up.
Well, right now, Les Miles has to remind his team this season is not over. They still have Arkansas, Ole Miss, and Texas A&M left. And remember, next, if Alabama stumbles, loses a game, then LSU still would control their destiny. And I've already said a one-loss SEC champion will be in the playoffs.
Left side caught. That's Deshaun Smith, number 89.
Tight end in the slot, matched up against Ragland. Actually, it's a zone combo look, and sometimes that looks like it's coming back too, Vern.
Oh boy.
Watching the replay thing here.
Number 90 on the defense.
Oh no.
15 yards added to the end of the run. First down.
The players all thought it was coming back. The LSU players had walked back. The Alabama players had walked back. And when they met, the officials said, oh, no, we're tacking it on to the end of it. Let's see if we can see where it happened. Right in the middle, right there. Yep, good call.
And so now, across midfield for one of the few times tonight, LSU with a first down 10, but trailing by 20. No, that looked awful. That looked worse.
Well, the first part of the play forced Brandon Harris to try to just get rid of it any way he could. He had no time at all after the two players ran into each other, and Jonathan Allen almost got him before he got rid of it.
If we can. Second down 10. Wow. Incomplete.
Well, we haven't called Reggie Ragland's name in a while, but he's an elite football player. One of the best middle linebackers in all of college football, and that's how you cough the ball up. Kind of a gimmick play that time. Cam Cameron trying to find some offense for his LSU team. Faked the screen to the outside and delayed the tight end, and Ragland standing right there.
Third down 10.
This is where they tried to get Fournette on the linebacker before.
Oh, well.
I don't think that's going to work.
Oh, well. I'm flashing back almost, well, to 1979, so help me. Roger Staubach's last pass for the Dallas Cowboys was thrown to left guard Herb Scott.
Well, let's hope this isn't Brandon Harris's last pass. He was thrown on his shoulder, and even Les had a giggle on that one.
Fourth down.
It was a nice catch by
Sure
Gerald
was.
Hawkins.
One-hander.
Yeah.
Might have found a new tight end.
Jamie Keane on to punt. Coach, I made a heck of a catch.
I don't know. Is he going to kind of laugh? He's got a kind of a laugh to it. Not much you can do it. He was open.
He was. I mean, I like the athleticism. He had to reach back.
Yes.
Grab a one-handed catch. Somewhere right now, Herb Scott is smiling. I know what it's like. 4th and 8. Oh, boy. 30-10. Now we've got a conversation going on near midfield. Fourth and 8.
Nick Saban's confused why they doesn't move back farther.
That one takes an LSU hop and will be down at the 7-yard line. $11:47 to go. This is all Alabama. The Home Depot SEC on CBS is sponsored by Ford, Geico, Napa, and by AT&T. We welcome you back to Bryant-Denny Stadium, where Alabama is in control. Go back to the college football playoff top 10.
And looks what's happened here. TCU, Michigan State, and let's go halfway on that one, okay? Just to be nice, because
That's
it's
prudent.
not over right now. But it looks like there could be a potential firewall set for Notre Dame. If Notre Dame wins out, even an undefeated team, is somebody going to have enough guts to have Notre Dame ranked 5th and then leapfrog a team that wins out after that? Anybody going to have enough guts to do that?
Either of those two ladies. That's not. No, they wouldn't. No, not at all.
Okay.
First down, 10. Drake with Henry leading the way.
This will count as a pass, a completion, and Henry, truck and trailer. Just stay right behind that big truck and trail, and you got it. Learned that a long time ago, back in high school. Truck and trailer.
By the way, I bumped into your center before the game
Steve
started.
Mott?
Yes.
He was the last captain of an Alabama team coached by Bear Bryant. His last team. He was the captain of the team.
I'll be darned.
Yep.
Is that a fumble? Could be.
It's funny because he had texted me early and said, GD, do not mention the word turnover in this game because you're a jinx. So now he officially is a jinx.
Henry with a bobble.
It was. And only the 10th turnover for LSU on the season, and stretched out and got it that time. Bauer got it. And did he recover it or not? Number 46, Bauer's the guy who got his hand on it, I know that.
Yes, I think he did. Here's Henry. Angry with himself. Reggie Ragland looks into the student section. He says, give us a little noise down here.
Well, this is where Malachi Dupree, Traven Durrell have to make a play. They have not been able to run on this Alabama defense. What will LSU dial up?
In this half, LSU has run for -1 yard. They've got 37 for the game. Fournette, longest run of the game by far.
Got to the edge finally, didn't he? As a running back, you just have to say, I run my style, I trust my offensive line, even if they don't deserve it. But tonight, I just got to keep running.
That's a gain of 18. That's a gain of 1. If that. Reggie Ragland, Gino Matias Smith. $10:37 to go. Alabama makes 4 defensive substitutions. Second goal. Back to the eye. Play clock at 1. Timeout. LSU has 1 remaining. Time call.
To you.
Adam, thank you. Take a look at this defensive bunch.
I think there's 15 or 16 Alabama players. That's all the different matchups that Alabama will use. 7, 8 guys go off, 11 stay on, and 19 guys were ready on that play.
Oh, boy. Second and goal. Make sure they got 11 on the field. Lob pass into the end zone. Flag.
Oh,
Malachi Dupree. Cyrus Jones defending.
Wow. Cyrus Jones goes, I don't know what else I should have done on this one.
Pass interference. Defense, number 5. The ball is placed on the 2-yard line. Automatic first down.
Yeah, he got his body into him, no doubt. Hit him with his hips right before the ball got there. Had contact below the waist is really what the call was on. Perfect call.
First down goal.
Yeah, and by the way, LSU will use all 4 opportunities if they need them.
Back in the eye. Toss. Up in the air to the 1. Just outside the end zone. DJ Petway with the tackle.
I think Petway and Dylan Lee are the 2 guys that made the play.
Man.
We have called his name a lot tonight, haven't we?
Gosh, yes. Had the interception earlier in this half. Second down goal.
He had a sack. He forced a play running in.
Toss. Fournette. That should be a touchdown. It is.
Well, nothing to do here but just push it in. Use all the strength that you got and get it in there.
Trent Domingue for the extra point. Brad Craigthorpe will hold. And Reed Ferguson is the snapper.
Oh. Glad I only drew a half line to it. Blocked, and it's live.
Blocked by A'Shawn Robinson.
What a game A'Shawn Robinson has had. He's batted down passes. He's made plays in the backfield. And this time, big 86 right up the middle leap. That man weighs 325 pounds, ladies and gentlemen. And he leaps the line of scrimmage like that and swats it.
That was pretty impressive. That ability to jump over. Here's the Derrick Henry fumble. And then Fournette, by far his longest run of the night. This was for 18 yards. And then Fournette for the touchdown. It is still a 2-possession game. Sims, he'll run it.
Made a first down. What an athletic play that was.
Sims dances right, fires it. Jones, and they gave it to him.
How about this drive for Blake Sims?
It was pretty good.
It really was. He said he watched tapes of A.J. McCarron. He was ready for it. Speaking of ready for it, Alabama is onside kick. They're just playing their normal kickoff return unit here. Would Les try something this early?
Still got 9:18 to go. No. Ooh,
out
again?
Of bounds. Oh, it didn't.
Oh, it stayed in.
It took a bounce the other way. How about that?
Wow, Kenyon Drake pinned inside the 10.
A late flag came in, I believe. Yes, we got a flag marker there. But that ball, Drake thought was going out of bounds, and it took a bounce for LSU.
During the return, illegal block in the back, number 34 of the receiving team. Half the distance.
This couldn't be any better.
First down.
LSU could not be any better for Les Miles. He kicked it deep. It looked like, look at Alabama had given up on it. And Kenyon Drake wisely says it's still in play and gets it at least out to the 8. Les is going, yes. Remember we talked about little things? The difference of that ball going out of bounds. What was it, 2.5 feet maybe?
Exactly. Jamal Adams helmet on. Here comes Coker. This is the worst starting field position for the night.
wonder if he got dinged on the play.
Well, it kind of looks that way, doesn't it?
Boy, this is pressure, big-time pressure for Alabama. Maybe the first time in the game.
Henry. Out to the 9.
We lauded this offensive line. We said coming into the game that they were what a lot of people considered maybe the one weakness in this Alabama football team. But they have been stellar. Can they push it out, put a couple first downs on the board, and kind of shift the pressure away from this drive? Because right now this whole crowd is almost silent. They can feel it.
2nd down 5. Henry. It will be 3rd 1 or 2. Needed. Kendall Beckworth made the tackle for LSU. 3rd down 1.
Remember Les said, spirit. It's going to come time when you got to reach deep down and fight.
And so 3rd down 1 with less than 8 minutes remaining. Alabama has had difficulty on 3rd down conversions. Play action, Coker. Lobs it. Ooh, I think he got it. O.J. Howard, what do you think here? Yeah.
He got the spot right to the line, and it will be the first down. Another one of those little bootlegs. Lane Kiffin, probably his MO right there, that he loves that to keep. It's almost a part of a running. He almost got 3 different attacks. You've got the running game, the passing game, and the bootleg game. And Kiffin uses it in between the two to keep that defense honest and to move the chains.
On 1st down, Stewart near side, split out. Mulaney Ridley top of the screen. Henry. Oh, that was ever so close. Tre'Davious White. And let's go back to Adam Zucker for this update in our New York studio. All right, Adam, thank you. We've got a 14-point game here, 30-16. Leonard Fournette, string of 9 consecutive games with 100 yards plus rushing in jeopardy right now. Henry bounces it. He might, well, the spot is going to be a little short, I believe.
Stopped inside very well by that LSU defensive line. Forces Henry to bounce outside. And he almost stretches it for a first down, but not quite.
Brandon Green and Michael Nicewinder.
You almost got to wonder here for LSU, do you almost bring in a goal line defense type look here? I mean, can you really let Alabama make another first down? You remember, you only have 1 timeout left.
They got it. 5:34 remaining.
They pulled from the right side to the left, Alphonse Taylor, number 50, and they just ran behind the big guy.
Now the clock starts. Coker back on. 5:17 to go.
That ball should never be snapped with more than 5 on that number right there now for Alabama. Never be snapped if it's higher than a 5.
Henry.
Coming back, though.
Flag.
Big play right there, boy.
holding. Offense, 71. 10-yard penalty. Replay first down.
That's another flag on Pierce Baker.
It was basically the same play that Henry scored on earlier. But speaking of earlier, this has been the travails of Leonard Fournette trying to get to the second level of this Alabama defense, and then Derrick Henry. Remember the 40-yard gain to start in the first half and the beautiful touchdown. That was the play right there that Alabama just ran for the holding, and it was Pierce Baker that got the holding call.
Ridley. Jamal Adams.
Excuse me, Vern.
Sure.
Right now, Jake Coker, Lane Kiffin, and Nick Saban has to remind their backs that ball security is more important than yards right now.
Second down, 16.
Not that yards aren't important, but ball security tops it.
See how the play clock stands when they do snap the ball. They're listening here.
Under 5.
Henry.
Wow.
Pretty impressive.
Well, we started off the game calling these two guys Raging Bulls. RB. Well, the Raging Bull right here refused to be taken down. 1 tackle, 2 tackle, 3 tackles, and he falls forward.
In the Alabama win at Texas A&M, he had 32 carries for 236 yards. Tonight, 34 carries for 158.
And something just as important, no punt return coverages. Punt coverages. He's not on the punt team anymore.
Henry. Stiff arm.
Well, this was a misalignment, a busted assignment by LSU. 3 guys to one side. They were overloaded to the wide side of the field, but I think they were misaligned, and the draw play to the left just cashed them.
How about that stiff arm? And now with 187 yards, 3 touchdowns. Derrick Henry.
And look at that, he did not go out of bounds. At least Lane Kiffin didn't think he went out of bounds. Same play, coming behind number 46. He might not be a true fullback, but he's an awful good-looking H-back. And Tre'Davious White, number 18, is sick of looking at him.
4th first down on this drive. And they're just chewing the clock up. 2 minutes to go in the game.
And right now, Mississippi State, who basically played Thursday, so it's going to be the 4th game in a row Alabama will face a rested team, is saying, we got this guy next.
That should be enough to put him over the 200-yard mark for the night. Alabama next. On the road, heading to Starkville.
What a drive, huh?
Oh, my gosh.
In their own end, you could feel the pressure. After LSU, they go to Starkville. Vern, are we going to Starkville?
I believe we probably...
Come on, you've been here a long time. Make the decision.
Can't wait to get there.
We're going to Starkville.
Doubleheader next week. Georgia-Auburn, the first game. Auburn with a big win tonight, actually. Here's Henry again. And then we will be in, even the locals call it Stark Vegas.
Well, we have A new leader that's going to control his own destiny now, the Alabama football team in the SEC West. And I believe we may have a new Heisman frontrunner in Derrick Henry. This was a great pressure drive by this Alabama football team. LSU, when you get right down to it again, they couldn't get over 20 points, and they couldn't stop the run.
43 seconds remaining. Let's give it to Derrick Henry one more time.
Let's just hope on that one Derrick Henry didn't get injured on his one more time. Isn't it time to get him out of there? Or wasn't it time to get him out of there the play before?
Yes. Well, you see the graphic, 38 rushes tonight, tied for third most in Alabama history. Tell you what, Michael Neiswinder's had a fine game tonight.
He likes coming around from that H-back position from one side to the other.
Alabama got a huge break this afternoon when Arkansas defeated Ole Miss in overtime. Then they made their own good fortune tonight by holding that man to 31 yards on 19 carries. And that man had a great night. Let's go down to Allie, who's with Nick Saban.
Coach, we all knew your front seven was one of the best in college football. Did you know they were this good?
Well, they did a nice job against the run, but the whole team defense did a good job. But really, I think I told you earlier, this is a team game. We kept the ball on offense, did a great job on offense of keeping the ball. They didn't have the ball that much, so it's a team thing when you stock a great player like that.
Each week there's more pressure, there's more at stake, but your team continues to respond. How proud does that make you as a coach?
Well, I'm just happy that the guys did a great job in this game. We got 24 hours to enjoy it, and then we got a big challenge next week, but we just got to go 1-0 in every game.
Everyone was talking about Leonard Fournette, but how about your running back, Derrick Henry, and the way he
did a great job here today, man. Proud of him, boy. He had a great game. Play with a lot of toughness, and we were physical on offense today, and I think that was the difference in the game.
Derrick Henry, you told us that you don't like to look into the comparison between you and Leonard Fournette, but do you feel like you proved something to the country today?
No, I feel like our offense proved something. Coach real big on preparation, and I felt like the whole week we had prepared right for us to come out here and execute, and I felt like the whole offense did that as a whole, playing physical and finishing drives.
What makes this team an SEC championship team?
I mean, we just try to come out and finish win, practice tough, play tough, and just fight through adversity, you know what I'm saying? And just finish games, you know what I'm saying? Like I said, preparation is the key, so we got to enjoy this win and get ready for next week.
Congratulations on the win to both of you.
Thank you.
My name is Tom.
Well, the Raging Bulls, Gary called them some 3.5 hours ago. A nice moment here. Leonard Fournette, Derrick Henry. Well, Brandon Harris came in this year. That changed early in the second half as we introduce you to our Napa play of the game. Here's Harris back to throw. He rolls out and finds Dylan Lee. With the radio call, here's Eli Gold from Alabama.
Brandon Harris. He's got Fournette behind him. They play action fake it. Fournette comes out left to throw. Dylan Lee intercepts it far side. Alabama's got the football at the 30-yard line.
And they were in control almost from that point to the end. There was the one touchdown by LSU. Let's take a look at the updated standings now. Alabama 5-1 in conference play. They now own the tiebreaker over LSU. They got that break we mentioned when Arkansas knocked off Ole Miss. But Dak Prescott and Mississippi State await Alabama's visit.
Well, Alabama completely dominated in this football game, throwing up 434 yards. LSU basically had two big plays, the bomb and the fumble. It was all Alabama, but Prescott is a whole different player in Starkville. This will be interesting.
And we caught a little bit of a break from the weather as well. Rained for almost 24 hours straight, but it held off tonight. So the Alabama Crimson Tide prevails for the 5th consecutive year over LSU. Final score.